Run free, sweet prince. You were born to roam.
Alex,
Trips, take
what's your
Yeah.
opinion on chickens, Alex?
What, to eat or to...
I don't know, just in general.
I think they're alright.
We heard that.
That was your fault, Alex.
I don't... Yes?
You're responsible.
What, I answered your question in an honest
The
way?
chicken's death is on your hands, Alex.
Did I just something?
Yeah, you killed the chicken.
Welcome to the 10th and final episode of Assessment GAT320, 12 games in 12 weeks. Now only 10 games. The topic for this week's lecture was pacing, and how pacing in games is used in level, world, and game design. Pacing is most often applied to story arches and level layout in single-player and action-adventure games. Video game pacing is often described in a way that is very similar to how a movie plot works, with 3 acts that form 3 arcs, leading to a climax, with each of these acts guaranteeing a certain flow and pacing. The first consisting of setting the scene, describing the character, the second, the rising of that character, the tension of the journey, and eventually combat, and third, the climax being a final battle resolution, killing the bad guy, etc. So, and this always ends in satisfaction and closure. These arcs, for the sake of things, can generally be applied to most single-player games with RPG elements. But this got me thinking: how do you apply pacing to a multiplayer game? What's the pacing of narrative in your average deathmatch per se? I would say it's pretty hard to say, for sure. I mean, level design, but considering multiplayer FPS games, it's more about the combat, and with MMOs it's more based around lore. But in DayZ it's a completely different kettle of fish. Open world survival games are a point of intrigue for me as far as pacing and narrative gameplay is concerned. And I would say the most fun and most exhilarating experience in gaming that I've ever had is through this genre, and primarily in DayZ. In this video I'd like to discuss why the flow and pacing of DayZ, however dynamic and unpredictable it may be, lends so well to the excitement and storytelling through its semi-random and dynamic pacing, and this is what happens. So I'll put some little indicators up on screen throughout the video to hopefully help show the flow and pacing of this particular encounter. In this first clip I've just started recording. I got a spawn in Balota and looted up the coast inland. I got lost in the forest for a while, but eventually stumbled across Lenogorsk. So on arrival I decided to scope out the military base Virginia was there and head down and check it out. I don't think I reacted very well. It's been a long time since I played, and honestly the encounter shook me up a bit, but I hope you enjoy anyway. This is what happened.
Oh shit.
Hello? Okay, it was just a zombie. We might not know him here. Hey man, I'm friendly, fuck you. Now you're dead. Alright, cool. So that was the encounter. I hope you enjoyed. The chart you saw in the top right corner is the flow state chart theorized by this guy that I can't pronounce his name, but I'll put his name up on the stream. He created the concept of flow. I think is it's probably the most valid lens when applying pacing to multiplayer game, and important when being able to gauge the arc when it comes to pacing. I wanted to do a graph when it had a moving dot instead of the the colors changing, but I think for simplicity's sake, I opted out for this. It's really rough, but I think it shows the state of flow pretty well. So I created some arcs to visualize the pacing of this encounter. What you have to consider though is that I edited this video in a way that reflects how a generic pacing plot would work. A period of calm at the beginning, as you can see, that sets the scene as I stumble across it, of course, and scope it out, which is this is low intensity, but suddenly becomes high intensity when I heard the shot. This entire situation had incredible tension. What you must remember is that I have been playing and traveling for over an hour prior to this this particular encounter, with no noteworthy events happening before then. So hearing a gunshot from an AK, which is an in-game loot item, so I know the guy's very geared, and I don't have a revolver, it's very scary. I'm outgunned and pretty fearful for my life. So this kind of encounter generates the underdog effect in narrative and provides, in addition to excitement, the personal narrative that creates a particular arc in this play session. So the pacing arc wave is when I lose and find the zombie corpse, and I'm worrying about his unresponsiveness, and eventually becoming anxious and careless, thinking that he must have left, which leads me to the final encounter being the climax of the entire encounter. This was where he shot at me and he almost got me, but then I turned around and managed to kill him in the end. But why is this kind of pacing arc so much more exhilarating in DayZ over a single player game? I would explain it simply by saying that DayZ has an extremely exaggerated time metric scale. This graph represents just one encounter that is part of an overall 5-hour play session, and a lot of these encounters that were in this hour play session would lack or would be regarded not good story arcs, many leading to disappointment or illusion, leading to the lack of closure. So to conclude, due to the random nature of open world survival gameplay, anything could happen anytime. You could bump into one person or 10, they could be friendly, or they could be bandits, somewhere in between, they could be geared or fresh ones, you just don't know. DayZ has very off-tempo time metrics. These are the periods of low intensity activities and high intensity activities. The break periods are long buffering times between the action and make threats feel so much more real and increases tension, leading to an overall better reward or disappointment depending on the outcome. I believe it is these long expanses of nothing that make the short bursts of something so much more intense, and that more random pacing of games like DayZ are superior to fixed and single player experiences because the story arcs can't be predicted. In DayZ, the action is so much more intense because you know what's at stake. I believe it's this kind of pacing that leads to the better eventual experiences and overall gameplay. Thanks for watching.
I'll watch you back. But thank you guys for being friendly and not for shooting me. I appreciate that.
What's up, Matt?
Alright.
Yeah, see you, mate.
Alright, I'll catch you guys around, eh? Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, mate. Yeah.
Laters. Hey, David.
How's DayZ going?
It's alright. I just met two guys and they seem to be alright.
Oh, sick.
I saw them in the distance and they definitely saw me and they ducked into some trees. So I just put my hands in the air and started doing a dance.
I'm incredibly disappointed in you, buddy.
Ow. Bye, John. It was lovely meeting you.
Oh.
It's alright, I'll go to the military base and get killed and that'll be the end of the day for me, but it'll be fun.
I mean, I can see about memes. Why am I at the bottom?
Button in the top right.
Hey man, hey!
I'd be on the fucking land shark, that's for sure.
Fuck.
You get shot at?
Yeah, I died.
Ah.